Right guys, I'm going to brave it again, the smell. I've actually covered my face to look in here because the smell is not good. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am here at the Church of Scotland, Polwarth, historic Scottish kirk here in the Scottish borders. So we're going to go in here and have a look around this wonderful looking old church and these graves, and give you a little bit of information about there's a crypt here at the back of that church. So first of all, we're going to take a walk around, read a couple of old graves. So this is the grave of John Johnston, who died at Duns, July 1875, aged 70. And we have Isabella, his daughter, died at Edinburgh, the 24th of January 1859, aged 15 years old. And we have a John, his son, who died at Melbourne, Australia, in May 1877. So it is very, very nice to be here in the Scottish borders. It was on my list to come here to see this wonderful place and the history it has to offer. And these graves are absolutely beautiful. We have some memento mori graves here. Now the one I want to show you here, this is the grave, and this was erected by George Calder of Polwarth in memory of John Calder, his son, who died in 1863, aged 15 years old. Also Jacob, who died in 1870, I think. But the interesting thing about this grave is, if we look down the bottom here, we can see George Caldwell George something Calder there, his son, who died at Sioux City, Iowa, USA on the 22nd of January 1890, age 48 years old. So these people would have immigrated from Scotland in the 1800s to Sioux City, Iowa, USA. Now just down at the bottom of the grave we have this beautiful photograph here in memory of George Liddell Calder, Duns and Polwarth. So we have a Mary Jane Fortune Calder, wife of George, and her daughter Jean, and Mrs. Joseph Casson Campbell of South Dakota, USA. And look at that photograph. A beautiful old photo. And there is a child at the bottom of that. It's very hard to see with the plastic, but we can see the two ladies from back then. So we'll leave that there. So for anybody that's watching from the United States, I'm sure you're looking for your Scottish ancestors and the history. And there we have people who emigrated to Sioux City. Wow, look at this. Skull and crossbones here, guys. Super looking stonework there. And just on the other side of this then we have the cherub angel And unfortunately it is hard to see any names on that. The names have worn away. Another interesting one just here. I think we have the crown on top. We have a lady's face there. A hammer to the left. And these are very old. I would think there's graves in here from the early 1600s. Now to find those might be hard to do. Beautiful angel design on that as well. And the writing has just totally disappeared. So there's the church from the distance. Holworth in the Scottish borders here. Now just down below here in the grass we can see the skull. We have the hourglass. We have two spades, a spade and a shovel. Beautiful. Right, so we'll take a walk over, I think, the other side, and I'll tell you a little bit of history about the crypt that's here and the strange story that happened right here in this old graveyard. So first of all, the old church here, Holworth Church, it was built in 1703 on the site of an earlier church. Now the vault we're going over to have a look at does contain coffins in there that we can see. So it's the vault of the Marchmont family. 1684, the vault served as the hiding place of Sir Patrick Hume, who had been implicated in the Rye House plot, a conspiracy to assassinate King Charles II and his brother James. So a man who was accused, I suppose, or involved in that conspiracy, hid out for 1 month, I believe, in this old crypt here. And we have a little bit of info. The vault is 50 feet by 15 feet by 8 feet. The coffins seen below bear the following inscriptions. So inside we have the Right Honourable Alexander Hume Campbell, Esquire, Lord Clerk Register of Scotland, age 52, and he died in London in 1760. We have an Anne Countess of Marchmont, age 38 years, who died in 1747. We have the Honourable Alexander Lord Polwarth, Lord Hume of Berwick, aged 30 years, who died in 1781. And we have a Sir William Hume Campbell, Baronet, 1833. And just here it says Lady Grisel was born in 1665, died in 1703 and buried at Miller Stane. So that's just a bit of info about the crypt. So let's have a look in here at these wonderful coffins of these family members. So right down there we can see two there on the right. We have the lead inside, the timber outside, and just to my left we can see two more coffins here. Now the thing about this crypt is it's very, very big, and you can see how far back that goes to the wall there. So I don't know why this crypt was so big for 4 coffins. Now to be honest, guys, and I'm not just saying this, but there is a terrible smell in there. A really bad smell in there. And I'm not saying it's bodies. There's actually something, a dead animal in there, I think. It does not smell good. This is not me pretending. This is real, guys. That is bad. That is bad, the smell in there. I'm going to come back there in a few minutes. I need a bit of fresh air. I'm going to go around here first and just see what I can read. And maybe take this phone off the gimbal and try and have a better look at those coffins. But something definitely went down there and died. Whether it's a rat, some form of an animal. So here we have sacred to the memory of Sir Hugh Hume Campbell. And there's that name we saw in the crypt, of Marchmont, Baronet, born the 15th of December 1812. And he died in London in January 1894. This stone was erected by his grandchildren in loving memory of him, who as the owner of Marchmont was for 60 years the just and kind friend of all his people. And in here, amongst these bushes and holly, we have a Margaret Hume Campbell, wife of Sir Hugh Hume Campbell of Marchmont, and she died in 1838, I think. And now just above the crypt here, actually I nearly missed this, it's to the glory of God and in memory of the men from this parish who died for their king and country in the Great War. John Elder. We have a couple of names there. C.C. Watt, A. MacLeish, Thomas Scott, and so on. And if you want to pause the video and have a look, you're welcome to do so. So guys, I'm going to take this phone off the gimbal here, and I'm just going to see can I get a better look in there at the coffins. So I'll get back to you then. Right guys, I'm going to brave it again, the smell. I've actually covered my face to look in here because the smell is not good. So there's those coffins. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. Maybe that's too close to show you. Look at that. Wow. And there's the other 2 coffins, as I was saying, all together. So there we go. Whew. Crazy to think actually that you can actually just walk up to bars like that and they actually give you the information, the size of the vault and stuff. You know, usually they'd have those places covered over and closed up. So it's actually good you can look in there and see those 4 coffins right there in front of you in the old graveyard. What a story about the guy hiding in the crypt for a month. after he tried to assassinate, or was supposed to have tried to assassinate, he was supposed to have tried to assassinate King Charles II. So that's it from me here, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. There's not much more to see here. I will have other videos up from my journeys in Scotland, so do make sure to check those out and subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. So from me here in the Scottish borders at Polworth Old Church and Graveyard, take care, and I'll see you on the next adventure.